So on the 3rd, Titan, Saturn's largest moon, will be visible below Saturn's south pole at 10 p.m, best viewed through a telescope of 6 inches or larger. And we also have Dione on the 5th, another one of Saturn's moons, worth looking out for tonight at around 11:30. Shadow of Dione will move across Saturn. And deep sky object-wise, whilst you're out observing Saturn this week, why not try and locate the Saturn Nebula with your telescope? It's also handily located in the constellation of Aquarius, where the planet Saturn is placed at the moment. It can appear greenish and yellow, and it is actually one of the brightest nebula, which shines at a magnitude of +8. It is so called because of its resemblance of the planet, the Saturn, and when you look at photographs of it, it does really look like the planet.
It does look like a big ball with rings going across it. I'm not questioning why that was called what it was called.
No, it's pretty obvious, isn't it?